Hello everyone, welcome. Today I want to speak briefly on obedience and more so children being obedient to their parent, right? And let me just go straight into what the Bible says about children and obedience. Here we go. Ephesians 6, and I'm going to read from verse 1 to 3. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayst live long on the earth. So, clearly, we see that the Bible says that you should honor your mother and your father. And not only that, this is the first commandment that come with a promise. This is the only commandment with a promise, really. You understand? So it says, obey your parents in the Lord, right? Honor your mother and your father, so your days may be longer on earth, right? So now, if you are obedient and your days will be longer, what will happen if you are disobedient? So, disobedience is the opposite of obedience. And obedience comes with longer days on earth. So, what do you think disobedience comes with? Right? What do you think? What's wrong? What do you think disobedience comes with? Well, in the Old Testament, a child who disobeys their parents, the consequence of such act was death. And go to Jay. Let Jay fix it. Jay fix that for her. Go and let Jay fix it. Go. The tablet. My apologies. My kids are home. Okay. So in Deuteronomy, right? Let me read from Deuteronomy 21, verse 18 to 21. It says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, he will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He's a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. I'm read that again. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, and he shall die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Jay. So here in the Old Testament, right, you see where a disobedient child was supposed to be taken to the elder and be stoned to death, because it is put it back, excuse me, because it is considered that this obedient child is an evil among them. It is an evil among them. right? So children, we see where disobedience in the Old Testament is met by death. Now we have modern days. Let's fast forward, come back to now. We see where the government has intervened in how a mother or a father or parents, guardians in general, should discipline a disobedient child. And they say you can't do this to the child, you can't do that to the child, and all the works. And so I believe, based on some things, this has fostered a high level of disobedience to parents, because the children are being taught in schools to report mommy if mommy do this, call the police if mommy do this, tell teacher if mommy do this, right? And so because the child knows that if they disobey, there are certain things that the parent cannot do, which, I mean, there are many ways of disciplining a child. Like you have timeout, naughty corner, give me this, go put on that, don't do this, don't do that, all those kind of things. But sometimes, you know, right? Sometimes them picking and need a good ass whooping. You understand? Sometimes them need that, because naughty corner is just for a little while. And please, I am not for child abuse. I believe there's a difference between disciplining a child and abusing a child. Right? So now the mama go take cutlass and beat the picnic to sickness. That's abuse. That's downright abuse. But the child not here, you take your hand and you give them a slap. Stop. That's discipline. Stop. Bam. Stop. You understand? You see, it'll go reach one point where you just have to give them the look. Yeah. My son know the look, you know. And him see looking now, say, yo, see my do something, I'm go so. You know, say I'm dead serious. And anything man do have to stop. Now, let me read 2 more verses from the Old Testament, which speaks about the consequences of disobedience. And this is in Proverbs. And you know, when you talk about wisdom, check Proverbs, right? Proverbs is the book of wisdom. Now, in Proverbs 20 and verse 20, it says, whoso curseth his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. See them drastic measure there? And you see in this little verse here, I interpret lamp to be life. Your life shall be put out. Right? You shall be put to death. Now, in Proverbs 30, and I believe it's verse 17, it says, the eye that mocketh at his father, and despiseth to obey his mother. The ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. You see how drastic the consequences of disobedience is. Very drastic. So, children, please be obedient to your mother, to your father, or your guardians. They don't necessarily have to be your biological mother and father, your guardians in the Lord. Or be obedient to them, so your days may be longer. So you're not dead quick. You ever then say you're dead quick? Yeah, your days are shortened. So please be obedient. Follow the instructions of your parents. You know, it's enough time a lot of these kids go missing. Sometimes, now let me not say enough time, but sometimes the disappearance or death of some of our children are because of disobedient. Maybe the mommy say, don't go there, so, like for example, right? Sometimes kids go to river and they drown. And before them in go river, the mama did warn them. Why? No follow the other one them and go river. When school over, come home. But because them say, mommy not there, mommy not know, me go, and then me go make sure me take off my clothes, put it one side so it no wet up. And when me don't take me swim, me can put it on back. And guess what? That's the last swim you will ever take, because death came. The consequences of disobedient children is death. And when me I talk about children, I'm not speaking just about the minors. I'm speaking about adults too. Me, big old great tone, me must obey my mother. Right? So that my days will be lengthened. So, children, again, I beg thee, obey your parents so your days may be longer. Have respect to your mother and your father. That's what honor means. Honor them. You understand? And make death go and wait a little longer. You know, I mean, it is said, it is appointed unto man once to die. So yes, death is sure. But you know, we can get a little more time on earth. You know, our days will be lengthened because we have been obedient. And as I close in saying this, the Bible speaks about obedience is better than sacrifice, and to hearken better than the fat of ram. You understand? And it was because of disobedience why Moses never entered the promised land. You know, Moses was a chosen vessel of God from a baby. Because remember, God did protect him. His mother did hide him in the bulrush, and Pharaoh's daughter did find him. Him end up in a Pharaoh hand, and it so happened that it's the same mother that was asked to nurture and take care of the child, right? So that was a part of God's plan, right? And he grew up and he knew that he wasn't an Egyptian, he knew that he was an Hebrew, and then the Lord, you know, put him up on the path and figure of to free the Israelites from the bondage of Egypt. And you know, out in the wilderness, they were given this promised land, and out in the wilderness they travel, and the people began to be rebellious and all of these things, and it did provoke Moses, and Moses was upset, and God did tell Moses to do something to give them water to drink, and him strike the rock and say drink, and all of these things. You only know the story, right? Me might not quote it word for word, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. And he never entered the promised land because he was disobedient. So people, a lot of them died in the wilderness because of disobedience. Nobody dead because of disobedience. Just make sure, so when you die, it was your time to die. It was your appointed time to die, right? So obey your parents and live long now. Walk good.